this, Scott.
Oh, I love
Don't
this.
you?
I just feel like a fraud because it's like my technicals have varying quality.
Look, it's just about the taste. You know what you like, you know what you don't like.
Oh, yeah.
Right, okay. Talk us through this beautiful creation.
It's just a chocolate cake.
Just. The way she uses the word just.
It has cardamom chocolate buttercream around it, and then all the flowers and the leaves are all made from buttercream as well. And then Mary's giving us a wave in front of it.
That is absolutely stunning. And here you are,
Yes.
3 of you. Oh
Yes.
my goodness, back together at last. So who called who? How did it work?
Basically, James and Matt came around to mine about 3 years ago, and we hadn't seen each other for about 8 years. And we just started chatting and rekindling our friendship. And
Did that feel a little bit like you were cheating on McBusted?
Well, this was actually before McBusted.
yeah,
This was,
How
we
long
were
has
flirting
McBusted been
before
going?
McBusted.
How long has McBusted been? Because
About 2
McBusted
years.
presumably are now busted.
You can't even look at it, can you?
It's surreal. It's like it's not really me. I don't know how I did it. I really don't know how I put myself there, what I was thinking.
Because it absolutely wasn't your cup of tea, really, was it? Let's be honest.
It really was. I thought that it would cure me. Because you think it was something so extreme that, you know, after that I won't be scared, you know, a spider, and I'd pick it up. It didn't cure me. It was just crazy. It was just a moment of madness, and I survived.
Forget the economy, stupid. Migration is one of the most fraught issues in this referendum campaign. We're here in the bustling market town of Boston in Lincolnshire, an immigration hotspot, to ask, is it time to leave the EU and get control over who can live here? We have members of the public, experts and politicians to help us negotiate our way through the issue. We'll ask, what are our prospects for population growth if we stay in, with free movement of EU citizens? And here in Boston, what has been the effect of migration so far?
Good morning. This morning, will the UK be better or worse off if it votes to leave or remain in the European Union? We will try and find out throughout the programme today. As you can hear, this morning we're joined in Manchester by an audience of 145 people who all want to know how a decision to stay in or leave the European Union will affect them. Good evening, I'm Emily Maitlis in Washington, where Donald Trump has been chosen to be the next president of the United States of America after one of the most extraordinary election victories in the country's history. I'm Fiona Bruce in London, and we'll be assessing what a Trump presidency will look like for America and the rest of the world, and what his victory tells us about a new type of politics, rather like the Brexit vote here, which turns its back on the establishment and the elite.
Labour's policy, we had
That
painted
is
out
still
earlier.
an anchor.
The
He says he
current-
wants to achieve a surplus as soon as possible in the next Parliament.
bit vague.
I think that's but everyone seems to be content with it
He
for now.
has got an anchor, but it's not a very tough anchor, if I may say so, because he's now talking about the cyclically adjusted borrowing of being 2% of GDP by 2020, and I've been pressing that all night. But joking apart, that is a very loose target. And of course, because the OBR is forecasting that it'll only be 0.9% of GDP, that gives him this
Can I just say
quote.
something? None of this actually matters. There's no empirical evidence. The debt to GDP ratio in the UK is not abnormally high compared to other advanced countries. What actually matters is what you're investing in. The US, after the crisis in 2009, had a 10% deficit, but actually invested that in areas that today is producing growth. It depends what you're doing. You don't just...
The UK is actually growing at the same rate as the US.
We need to leave it there. Got to go.
It's wonderful. It's marvelous. She should care for me. It's awful nice. It's paradise. It's what I love to see. She's made my life so glad.
shining like a glitter ball for us this morning. Russell, when you were involved with the show, were you primped and primed like never before?
Never did the tan, didn't bother with that because it would have probably gone up to 100 gallons. I just think that the makeup artist, led by Lisa Armstrong, are just incredible. Styling of the hair, everything else is amazing. But we were, and that's what made it so wonderful.
A meaningful vote at the end of the negotiations. Can you explain to our audience in layman's terms what that means, please?
Well, firstly, obviously, we welcome the judgment. It's really important that Parliament has a proper role. If it is going to have a proper role, what we need is a white paper at the outset that sets out the objectives. I know we had a speech, but we need a formal document setting out what the government is seeking to achieve.
Sorry to be stupid, what do you mean by meaningful?
It means that we've got to have a vote at a point at which we can still influence the outcome.
It has to go through, people vote for it, but he's just trying to ensure, it's done properly. I think the ruling today I was happy with the ruling, and I feel like it's really unfair to say this whole ruling is delaying the process and upsetting Leave voters, when at the end of the day, Leave voters were coerced into voting for something that the government couldn't even legally provide. So whose fault is that? The Leave campaigners or the people who wanted to remain?
Say hello, wave goodbye.
Fantastic.